This episode of Brats in the Back Row discusses the topic of 9/11. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Brats in the Back Row. My name is Maylena.
I'm Ali.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Emily.
And we are the titular brats talking in the back row of the theater. And this week I forced the other brats to watch Twilight. And I can tell you all right now that I was the only one that actually enjoyed the movie. But before we actually talk about that, how's everyone doing?
I enjoyed the movie.
I
Okay,
liked
well, I
it.
didn't see your note, so I didn't know if you liked it or not.
In a very, like The Room way, you know? Like, it's so bad that it's good.
My cult classic,
never
The
seen The
Room.
Room.
Awesome. Okay.
My week was
Oh,
good.
it's starting to get cold.
Finally,
It's starting to get cold.
I can wear these overalls again with my long
Oh, I know, it's
sleeve.
overcast.
It's
Yeah.
so chilly. Caught a cold.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it's
I had, to,
Yeah.
I had to take a sweater to work.
Ugh.
Oh, me too.
It's
I-
starting
Wait, you
to
asked
get
about our week?
very...
What?
Yes, I asked about your week, darling.
Oh, I thought you asked... Okay, never mind. I thought you asked,
No.
about the movie. Oh, our week.
Well, no.
Okay.
She talked about it.
How was your week, Sarah?
Oh.
I see. I see.
Ah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I
Work.
see.
Just
See.
working for the dollar.
What?
Okay.
All right. I
Okay.
made chocolate chip pumpkin muffins today.
And they look
look very
Editing
good.
Emily put a picture up now. Woo! Nice. And then I did nothing else because I do nothing else.
They looked good.
Thank you.
They
Why did
look
you?
very
look
good. I wanted
delicious.
You
one.
said that they had.
I'm actually really
cocaine
upset
on.
you didn't bring them to the pod today.
Well, look.
Share.
I knew it wasn't cocaine on the muffins.
Well,
I
how
knew
do you
that.
know?
Well,
It's
that's
wild
the thing.
in
I never
my
100%
household.
know. Yeah, you know, that can really get up to some crazy things in their household.
It's a crazy ass family. No, it's not. It's
Exactly.
sugar. It was sugar on top because the recipe called for it. Sugar. I do nothing else. I wanted to talk about something, but I totally blanked on what it was.
Okay.
It was about my
Awesome.
Barbies because I was watching back the old footage
Oh,
of
no.
the Barbie one. Of me talking about my Barbies, and I
Okay.
remembered another story, but now I can't
Jesus
remember
Christ.
what it is.
Oh no. Okay.
You and your Barbies.
You and your Barbies.
Oh, I
Anyways,
remember.
well,
Okay. Okay.
Oh.
I remember now. So,
You're gonna tell us.
I had Barbie RV growing up. It's a short story. It's not super, super long. I had Barbie RV
Okay.
growing up, and so Barbie and Ken would take the kids out to camp, obviously, in the RV.
kids?
So I had mini American Girl dolls, which were you can buy at like the Target or whatever, and they were American Girl dolls, but they were like that
Yeah,
big.
I had those too.
So
yeah.
I made them like the children of Barbie World for me, because I was like, well, yeah, that tracks. They were the
Okay.
kids, because I felt like if they were dolls in the actual like the American Girls dolls with my American Girls, that's like, I don't know, not like cannibalism, but like the opposite end of cannibalism. Like, why do you? It's like you're sentient doll with a doll version of a, never mind.
Wait, what? Can you rephrase that?
Sorry.
Wait. Where
Yeah.
did cannibalism come in?
I don't know,
confused.
because they're like, they know it's okay. So like if the American Girl dolls can't have the mini versions of like their friends and stuff, because that's like they're knowing about them as a doll, and they know they're a doll. I don't know. My mind went straight to
Oh.
cannibalism.
It's the tiny
Wouldn't-
version of themselves, and so they'd be self-aware of
wouldn't
the
it-
fact that they are dolls.
Yeah. And it was
like
like
when
it was like
be
the
like a
opposite
clone?
end of the spectrum of cannibalism. Like same
I don't
idea
think
but
there's
not
an
eating.
opposite end of cannibalism.
I don't think you
don't
have to
think there's
bring
an
in
opposite end.
cannibalism to make that work.
I don't think cannibalism needed to be in here.
I think
actually.
cannibalism
Yeah.
did need to be in here.
I don't think cannibalism fits in
Wouldn't
the
they just be
story.
clones?
No, I don't
Why do
think
they
that
need
fits
to
the
be
metaphor,
sentient
yeah.
about their doll nature?
Wouldn't that just having a doll of yourself? Like
Yeah.
Which
seeing
we
a
do with
doll?
American Girls.
I never got
Yeah.
to have
Exactly.
the like what is it? The Me Too dolls? No, that's a different thing.
The
Yeah.
customizable dogs.
Yeah, the
thought you
That's something different.
customizable dolls. I never had one of those because they never had one with curly hair. They never had a white
Oh.
girl with curly hair, and I was
Curly
like,
hair-phobic.
I'm pretty sure they
no, they
actually
come
not.
so far.
no, they did not. When I was
No,
young,
they probably didn't develop that until like 2017 or something, because that's when
Yeah.
curly hair was okay.
Uh-huh.
it was acceptable.
That's when it was
It's
acceptable.
true.
Or, like,
So I had to
Couldn't
get one
you-
with straight hair.
Couldn't you get her with
Oh.
straight hair and then take her to the American Girl doll salon and get her hair permed?
I'm not doing that. I'm not
Is
not
that the-
perming a doll's hair. I don't care that much.
Wait, you
Yeah,
could
my
perm their
American Girl
hair?
doll-
You can go
She's
to the
right here.
doll.
You can do anything within an American Girl doll.
I thought you were gonna say you could do anything as a girl. You can set your heart's
That too.
desires as.
You
Anyway,
can achieve anything you dream.
and this is magic and forever. Anyway, okay. Going back to the Barbie. So the bar I had, it was Emily, it was Molly and Emily from the 40s and everything, and then Kit Rich. Those were like the three girls that were always the children. So they would go camping, and Ken's driving the RV. Barbie mom is in the passenger side. The children are all in the back, loose, by the way, just rocking about because there's no seatbelts. It was just going.
It's like the 80s.
Like the 80s, exactly.
Maybe.
They were like, I always pretended they were like 6 years old, like little kids. And they're going on the RV, and all three of them would always say, "Are we there yet, Dad? Are we there yet, Dad?" Being annoying and everything. Ken had anger issues in my Barbie Let's Play. Ken was always, you can set Ken off very easily. He was always on edge. And so
It's a repressed homosexuality.
I never thought of it like that, but yes, sure.
I thought it was I thought it was his alcoholism.
That too. I think
that
that's
too.
like a way to relieve it. Psychoanalyze my
Yeah.
Ken doll. He had insane lore. Honestly, Ken had more lore than Barbie most of the time for me, because I don't know, the patriarchy or something. Misogyny. Yes. But I was so Ken was like driving and everything, and these kids are annoying him, and then he stops the RV, and so this RV, it could flip out one of the sides, and it became like a screened in patio. It was really cool. It had netting essentially on the sides of it, and you could put like the dining room chairs in there, and then it opened up. It was a whole RV. It was really cool. So they parked and everything, and Ken said, "Everybody out of the RV," and they were like, "Okay, Dad." And so they got out of the RV, the three kids and Barbie. Ken stayed inside the RV and locked the door, and then he went on a rampage and destroyed everything in the RV. He was flipping chairs and tables. He was punching the walls and everything. He was like tearing down doors, and then he was freaking out because he had enough. I had enough of these kids. And then outside, Barbie and the three kids ask Barbie, "Mom, is Daddy okay?" And then Barbie would go, "No, honey, no, he isn't." And that's all I can remember. Anyway, short story, but
Is that like a
Huh.
reoccurring like thing you would play, or did that just happen one time?
no, I would always play like angry dad. My dad's not an angry man. He's a.
I was gonna say
My dad's not an angry
What
man.
is wrong with you?
But I would play it a lot. I would play Ken. It was not more of like angry dad. It was just Ken always was having an emotional breakdown. That was
Yeah,
a
just a
reoccur. That
problem.
was the reoccurring like thread.
Mhm.
Ken was always on like the tipping brink. And everything would set him off. You know, he had alcoholism problems. You know, maybe thinking now repressed homosexuality.
Was he blonde or brunette Ken?
He was blonde, Ken. But his best friend, and we'll put that best friend in quotes and everything, you know, repressed homosexuality. He had, he was the brown-haired one.
Oh.
Oh,
Is that Ellen?
Ellen?
No, Alan.
DeGeneres?
Alan.
Alan.
Hey.
Michael
Ellen
Cera.
DeGeneres, my Barbie doll. No, Alan, I don't know. I just called everyone. Everyone was Ken. No, everyone was Ken. Everyone was Barbie. Oh my God, more stories. Now it's all flooding back to me. Okay, more Barbie stories from Emily. Okay. What should I say? Okay, Ken always got into drunken car accidents. I remember that as well.
Jesus Christ.
He had like a Margaret. Oh, was it Barbie's mom? It may have been Barbie's mom. There was a lot of alcoholism going around, so it could be both. Like have a drink in hand, and then like in the car accident. That was a reoccurring theme. What else? Ken in his tuxedo. So at the wedding that Barbie left him at, gorilla wedding. We've been over it. Ken's tuxedo pants also ripped all the way up, like the crack, because he was just too buff.
no.
He was just too buff. So, adding insult to injury, his wife left him at the altar for a primate, and he also, ripped up the pants. The other thing, oh my God, no, what was I going to say? Oh, no, I know. Okay. The other thing is that, so I used to play this thing called Barbie Town in my parents' office, which was also where all, like, my dollhouse was and everything. I would play Barbie Town, and so I would pick out I would take out all the furniture. I would, take out every single little minute, detail toy thing for Barbies, and I would put them around, and I would make them into all these different shops and everything. And Barbie would have to go through and buy furniture for the house, food, pet supplies, whatever. Then there was one Barbie who had, there was like a closet thing that you could like take with you or somewhere, and I would, and it would be like the dress, the clothing store. And it was a small business. It was a small business that another Barbie doll like created and everything. And so the Barbie that was the business owner was always struggling because, it's a first year small business. It's a hard time. And so eventually Barbie, this is not a laughing matter. This is a very serious thing that happens in the real world. But as a 6-year-old, crazy to know about. Barbie, the business owner, was not getting enough sales, so had to shut down the clothing store, foreclose her own home, and then she had to live out on the street. And so I would have houseless Barbie.
Oh my God.
And that's how
What
Emily.
is wrong with you?
That's how Emily
You were
played
probably-
Barbies.
Yeah, you were probably.
I would
6
just
or
make my Barbies make out.
Ooh, I do that
Yeah.
too.
On top of the homelessness.
On top of homelessness, financial collapse, the struggling economy. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this was 2008. I was playing with these Barbies. Who know?
I feel like you're outing yourself as an only child with these stories.
Everybody knows I'm an only child, though. I didn't
Yeah.
have friends. I had Barbies.
We very explicitly outed as an only child, like every
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah,
Mhm.
pretty much.
It's so bad. That's all my
Pretty,
Barbie
pretty bad.
stories. At least if I remember more, I'll tell them. But that's all I can think of right now.
Thanks. That felt like a.
All right. So this week we watched Twilight. It is the film adaptation of the novel written by Stephanie Meyer. It's the first film in a 5-part film series called the Twilight Saga. There's 5 films, there's 4 books. You can kind of guess how they broke that up. The first film was directed by Catherine Hardwicke, who is a woman. She didn't return to direct any of the sequels because the studios realized that the Twilight films could make a lot of money, so they gave the films to men to direct the films.
Misogyny.
Which is very sad.
Misogyny.
Very misogyny. If you watch the sequels, which I know that you guys will not be watching the sequels, but for any listeners out there who do happen to watch the sequels, it's very obvious that they're directed by men because they're made to be blockbusters, whereas the first film, all right, who did that?
What happened?
That was my dad. Did you hear a man?
A man.
I did hear a man.
A man is in your
I
home.
thought it was like a video
No, that was
in the home.
he left.
Ew.
I'll show my dad that.
No.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, the first Twilight film directed by a woman, very obvious it was directed by a woman. It was directed to be an indie film because they weren't really planning on doing more movies. They weren't really planning on making the sequels because they didn't think it was going to be financially popular, but it was. So then they gave the movies to men, and it's super bad. Twilight is set in the town of Forks, Washington, which is a real town in Washington, but principal photography primarily took place in Portland, Oregon.
Wow. Represent.
Woo!
Shout out Oregon.
And we're
Or a
representing
Oregon
here.
shout out.
A little Oregon shout out. Oregon is very proud of this fact. It's kind of one of the only things that we have going for us. A lot of the high school scenes were filmed at Madison High School, which is in Oregon. I think it has a different name now because they didn't want it to be named after James Madison because he was racist.
Well, yeah, evil man.
You know what
He was an evil man. I don't remember what they renamed the school to, but it has a different name.
Pattinson High
I think it's
School. Edward High School.
Pattinson High School.
Colon High
But yeah.
School.
But yeah, so the interior of the school scenes were shot at Madison High School in Oregon, but then the exterior, that very cool exterior of the school, was shot in Washington. So congratulations to Washington for that. And also congratulations to Oregon for having Twilight being filmed in your state. Very proud of it. I once went to a screening of Twilight. It was a 35mm screening with a friend a couple summers ago for Made in Oregon Week. Because apparently there's a Made in Oregon week. I don't really know, but yeah.
They had
Yeah,
to scrape
I wasn't-
together all 3 movies.
They had to scrape together. There were a lot of old movies playing.
Alright.
I didn't watch any of those. I only went to watch the Twilight one, but I wasn't a fan of the Twilight saga when it came out because I was not like other girls.
Exactly.
I was very upturned.
That was me.
I was not like other
And I'm
girls.
still
I
like
was
it.
not engaging in the discourse. I watched them for the first time over the pandemic because I was bored, and they were fun, so I kept watching them. I haven't read the books. I do plan on reading them before I die. I just haven't worked up the courage to read them yet.
Before I die. You know,
Yeah.
well, alright.
Yeah. Well, it's I can't really handle that.
Okay. Wait, what?
That.
Reading the book?
The
All
books
that.
are okay, you watch the first film. The first film, crazy. The rest of the films, also crazy. Imagine all of that, doubled. And
That's
that's
true.
the books. And I can't handle that
With more context. Go, Sarah.
with more context. Go, Sarah.
Isn't there a gender bent version of Twilight that she published? Or am I tweaking?
Oh my god. Okay.
My fan
Stephanie
fiction.
Meyer has published a lot of stuff in the Twilight saga. So she did publish a gender bent version.
Why?
I don't know.
Feminism.
She's just
There's a gender bent
monetizing off of
version.
Going on.
I think that there's a comic or graphic novel of
That
the
I've
first
seen.
Twilight book.
That I've seen.
And then she also released Midnight Sun, which is the first Twilight book, but from Edward's point of view.
Oh, come on now.
I heard
Write
that's
something
so funny.
else. God.
It's really funny. It's also like the Midnight Sun is apparently like twice the length as the first Twilight book.
I thought it was a
Um,
prequel. That's why, because I saw it, it's like that big.
No. No, it's just the events of the first book from Edward's point of view.
Jesus
But
Christ.
it's twice the size of the first book. It's crazy.
That's insane.
Uh-huh.
Jenny Woodley.
Yeah, I heard it's really funny because in the first book, in the first Twilight book, Bella's like, "Oh, I wonder what he's thinking," and Edward's just like, "Apples."
What?
it's that-
Really?
Yeah.
Is that why
Yeah.
it's an apple on the cover?
Well,
I thought it was a
Brat
pomegranate.
Summer.
yeah.
No, it's
No,
a
that's an apple, babe. No, I need you to go look up fruit right. No.
Well, I thought it was. I haven't seen this book in forever. Hold on. I mean, on
Why
the
is it
Midnight
not-
Sun
The
cover.
apple, okay, Stephanie Meyer talks a lot. Like, she likes to talk. She has a whole website where she
Yeah.
just answers frequently asked questions on her website.
That's
That's
a
No,
pom-
Midnight
that's the Midnight
Sun.
Sun one.
I thought, is that not
In
what we're
Twilight-
talking
the
about?
Twilight-
Is that not?
No, the Twilight cover is an apple.
Oh, I
like
thought
the
we were
original first book.
I thought we were talking about Midnight
Never
Sun.
mind, you do know your fruit. No, I'm sorry.
Oh, wait a
but
minute.
on
I'm sorry.
her
There's something
website-
better. What the hell? It's them in like portrait. It
Alright.
looks like what's it called? They're like the City of Bones trail like series. It looks
Oh,
like that.
God.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the original one, yeah.
Yeah, but Stephanie Meyer said that the reason that they chose an apple as like the cover of the thing has to do with Adam and Eve
Oh.
and like innocence, because Stephanie Meyer is, I'm 90% sure, Mormon.
Yeah.
And
You said
there-
woman.
Yeah, and like
Wait, she's a Mormon?
no,
Woman.
I'm pretty
That-
sure she's a Mormon, and her
tracks.
Mormonism is really clear in the books, especially because this happens later on in like Breaking Dawn, which is the last book and the last
Spoilers.
films. Spoilers. This doesn't really matter. Bella,
Books have been out for 20
throughout
years.
the series, Bella wants to fuck Edward so badly.
We can. The movie, it's pretty.
She
obvious.
Yeah.
She wants to fuck him. Edward will not fuck her. He tells her that it's because of like his vampire strength.
Oh
and he's
my
afraid
God!
of
No,
burning
it's because
her.
they can't, have sex before marriage.
Yeah,
God does not
The
allow
real reason
that.
is 'cause they can't have sex
Interspecies
over
relationship.
marriage.
Interspecies.
Interspecies relationship.
Sure.
Yeah. So, anyways, she dragged that conflict out because it's genuinely a conflict between the two of them that they can't have sex for 4 books
That's insane.
and 5 movies.
And then
No
she gets
movies.
pregnant, right?
There's
When
4
she
With the evil
finally
baby.
would.
And then-
Esme.
with that
Yeah,
robot.
okay, I
CGI
do want
baby.
to talk. I do want to talk about that. I want to go through with you guys the timeline of the Twilight series, but I'll want to do that later. I do want to hear about what you guys think about the movie first, because I feel like I've been talking for a bit.
I'll go first because editing so
Emily
okay.
hated it.
Wait, whoa. So all of us give each other notes and everything to kind of base guide the conversation. You've heard us talk about it. Editing Emily, I'm gonna put up the screen cap of the notes I gave May. It literally just says something of like, I wish I died instead.
That is what Emily said verbatim.
Technically, I've seen these movies 2.5 times. The first time I tried watching it, I didn't finish it because I hated it. And I was like, this sucks. This is bad. And it's not even like haha bad. It's bad. And then I watched it
weird.
through because I forced myself to. I was like, Pete, you gotta understand like cultural context and everything. People, watch these movies. And I was like, okay. So I watched it, hated it. And then this is the second and a half time that I've watched this. Anyway, I hate these movies. I don't know. I guess for me, I'll admit it, I like bad things. Like, I'm not immune to liking, being like, I'm pretentious, but I understand limits and everything. But I don't know, there's something about these movies that, like, piss me off. It's the stilted conversations. Everyone doesn't know how to talk in these movies. Everyone's like, how are you? And then it's a 12-second pause, and they're like, good. I'm like, oh my god, speak faster. For the love of God, learn how to speak. And it's just like the conflict I couldn't care about. It's something that takes itself so seriously and so intensely, and then I literally could never care. And they make it so boring. And I'm like, oh my god, who cares about any of this? None of this makes sense, genuinely. I don't know. And then it's about Jacob's fuck-ass wig. It is so ugly. And it is
That's a wig?
That's a wig. That long hair is a wig. You couldn't tell that was a wig? It's literally, you see like the lace front right here. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not wig knowledgeable.
Oh.
I didn't know that Taylor Lautner would have his hair long in the first movie, because in all the promo stuff, his hair is short. So I thought that was something that happens in like the third movie.
No.
Is he white?
They cut. Taylor Lautner is very white. That's an issue that we could talk about.
He's just very tan.
He's just a very tan white guy,
no.
but I don't even think he's like ethnically white. I think he's just like straight up like Great Britain white.
Like white bread?
Somebody look this. I think he's like white bread, but he just tans.
What is the...
Is it a natural tan?
I don't know. Somebody else has got to look it up.
I'm looking it up.
Like,
What is the ethnicity
Like,
of Taylor Lautner?
Yeah.
I think he is white.
But like it's bad that he's like a white guy playing Jacob, because Jacob is like Native American, and that's like a huge part of Jacob. Black.
Of all like the actors they could have chosen, they chose like the white one that looked.
This is straight from Wikipedia, the best source on the planet. Lautner has Dutch, French, and German ancestry, and has stated that he has, quote, distant, end quote, Native American ancestry, specifically Odawa and Potawatomi, both Anishinaabe peoples, through his mother.
They just saw that and rolled with it. They were like...
You were like, and you are a Native American man.
Enough.
Yeah. What's crazy is that I think that the rest of the people that they cast later on to play, like, the rest of the tribe, for lack of a better word, are Native American as well. Like, they're actually, like, Native American people. And then you have Taylor Lautner.
Is the guy in the wheelchair...
Oh.
Do we know if he's... Or is he also?
That's a Native.
He was my favorite character, by the way. I love that man.
He's great. I love him. He's great.
He actually knows how to act. Yeah. I will say, Jacob and Bella have the best chemistry for me. And
they do.
They do. At least this first movie, because they know actually how to fucking talk to each other. They've been friends to lovers with those two. I see it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I haven't seen the rest. I don't know what the hell plays out. I know, Evil Baby, but like, Evil Baby with Edward. I watched the only actually, I kind of do know what happens because I didn't watch any of the other movies. I don't care, frankly, but I did watch the Pretty Much It commentary video on YouTube where they go through all the movies. And I was like, good enough. And I learned all these.
Good enough.
Yeah, but I love Jacob and her actually have like conversations with each other, and they feel like, real buddy conversations if she was shy. It's not this weird shit with Edward. Ugh, I hate Edward.
Maybe that's why
Edward
everybody
is
was pro
insane.
Jacob.
He was
Yeah.
100 years old.
I don't care.
Edward is insane.
Maybe he'd learn a thing or two being all that old. Good
so
God.
You would think that after 100 years he'd know how to act like a person.
Exactly.
Or something. He's
not
so
a person.
freaking weird.
He's so like,
Yeah.
he's so stuck in the past.
Yeah, that's how he acts.
Yeah, totally.
He's just not. I'm gonna say. I mean, I don't care all about looks, but he's just not attractive. Like,
no, he's got that
in that
weird ass
movie-
like pompadour.
yes,
Pasty.
he's so pasty. It's like that's not natural. Like,
He
Also,
almost
no, he
died
could
from
be
this
an
manner
unnatural.
flu. What?
No hate to Kristen Stewart because she was very young when she was in these movies, but she's like as pale as Edward playing a vampire. I was like,
Yeah.
how did they take her as one of their own or something?
As one of her.
Day one, I'm Edward. I go up to not Kristen Stewart. I go up to Bella and I go, "Are you one of us too?" And that's why
You're one of us.
Hey girl.
That's crazy.
Hey girl. Are you like? They do like hand signals and everything.
Ali, what did you think of the movie? Because you said that you didn't hate it. You said it was
I did not.
fun?
Yeah, no, it's a fun movie to watch. Like, okay, listen. Is it a well done movie? No. But I think that adds to its charm. I think that adds to the funniness of it. I think you have to not take Twilight seriously or else you'll be Emily. I think no,
I'm
he's
not
Emily.
I don't take it seriously. I just think it's bad. I think it's the worst.
No, it's not. It's listen. Is the quality good? No. However, I think a lot of my excitement of watching this movie is that it was one of the things I wasn't allowed to watch as a child. Like I wasn't allowed to read or watch Twilight. So now I'm 22 and I just watched it and I'm like, ooh, that was fun. I was also telling Maylena, and shout out to my friend Shayla, who we went to school with, but Shayla's a fan of the Twilight movies and stuff. Shayla has a shirt of a Charlie Swan shirt that says, "If you don't think Charlie Swan is hot, don't talk to me." And she's so right for that.
Who is that?
I think these
He's
movies
hot.
are, yeah. I think
Oh,
these
the
movies are very
dad.
American. The dad, yeah.
I like the dad. He goes through so much.
He
does
goes
do so
through
much.
so much.
He's just like trying to
He
get his
does.
daughter
He's the
better.
only
trying
normal
so
character
hard.
in the movie, and I really respect it.
I really do. I'm like,
Yes.
he's just trying.
Yeah.
Yes. I think this movie is very American. Walk with me.
Okay.
We have
I do.
the connection to 9/11,
Wha-
right? We have
What? How?
God.
How?
What?
We'll get there. We'll get
Every
there.
Okay.
I'll
episode
talk about
bring
that
that
in a little bit.
Oh, yes, we do
That's fine.
have the. And hold on. Keep going.
Yeah. Number 2, it takes place in very American states. And it has white people in it. She goes from like Arizona to Oregon, and I think that's fun. These are states we don't really get to see like representation
She's
from.
in
So
Washington.
she's in sorry, right. But it's filmed in Oregon. So props to Oregon.
Okay, so anyways, while Ali is frozen, here's the history of how Twilight was inspired by 9/11. While we get through this. Oh yeah, and Emily, for the audio listeners only, Emily is currently putting on her My Chemical Romance t-shirt to honor this event. So here's how Twilight is inspired by 9/11. So 9/11 occurred. We all know when that happened. It was 9/11. Gerard
overalls,
Way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gerard Way was in New York City when 9/11 occurred, and he saw the Twin Towers falling. And it was so bad that he had so much trauma that he decided to form My Chemical Romance. This is a bastardization of the history, but I do need you to stick with me. The trauma was so bad that Gerard Way had to formed the band My Chemical Romance because he was making music or whatever. Stephenie Meyer, the author of Twilight, loved My Chemical Romance, and she had a huge crush on Gerard Way. And her crush on Gerard Way and his music and whatever helped inspire Twilight. There's Twilight. She was also inspired by Twilight from a dream that she had. We don't really need to talk about that. It's really stupid. But she thought that Gerard Way was a beautiful vampire man. And she wrote him in mind as Edward. So Gerard Way as Edward Cullen and herself as Bella Swan. And that's how that happened. And then also, if we can tie in 50 Shades of Grey here, 50 Shades of Grey is a self-insert fanfiction of Twilight.
And then going back to what I said about Ellen DeGeneres, because in 50 Shades of Grey, it gave the rise of Dakota Johnson. And then Dakota Johnson went on Ellen, and then Ellen was like, I wasn't invited to your Christmas party. And there's that famous clip of her going, actually, Ellen, you were, which eventually led to the downfall of Ellen, because in summary terms, people were fed up, and there was a lot of like abuse happening in the background of the Ellen show and everything.
Was a terrible
She's
person.
A horrible human. So
terrible person.
Yeah, the downfall. 9/11 to the
everything
downfall.
Is connected. Mm-hmm.
This glows in the dark.
Jesus.
Does it?
Yeah, but I mean it's not dark in my room. But it's supposed to glow in the dark. I should wear this more. It's Halloween time. Or tomorrow. No, because I'm seeing my grandparents tomorrow. I'm not going to wear this.
You can't do that.
Gam and Gam Camp are not going to enjoy.
Allie, are you there? Allie is currently having some technical difficulties right now. Her sound isn't working at the moment. Anyways, while we're waiting for Allie, here's another thing that happened. You know how Stephenie Meyer, the author, was inspired by Gerard Way and his beautiful vampire look in My Chemical Romance for Twilight? That was only part of her inspiration. So she actually conceived of Twilight in a vivid dream that she had on June 2nd. And in the dream, an average... I'm kind of reading this from her website verbatim.
Oh.
An average teenage... Yeah. Like I said, she talks a lot. An average teenage girl and a beautiful and sparkly vampire were having a conversation in a woodland meadow. They were talking about how they were falling in love with each other and how the vampire was having trouble restraining himself from killing her because he could smell her blood. And then Stephenie Meyer woke up from her dream, and then she was like, I have to write this book down. And that is how she conceived of Twilight.
Now imagine that vampire... Gerard Way, everyone.
Way.
I cannot believe that she was based on him. It's like...
And we were... Sorry, Gerard.
And you know what? Let's put a side-by-side on the screen of Gerard Way and Edward Cullen.
Is that why her friend looks like him in the Helena music video? The one guy that comes up and talks to her? Like the first guy.
Her? Is Stephenie what? Who are we talking?
No, Bella. In the
Helena music video.
Yeah, that guy comes up to her and he looks like emo, like one of her friends. The first guy that she talks to.
What?
Asian guy?
He's like in the friend group. He's emo.
Oh, the guy looks like somebody in the Helena music video. Yeah. I thought you were saying someone in the Helena music video looked like someone in Twilight. I was like, who?
No, it's the same person.
Oh.
No,
probably. I don't know.
Maybe. I am not sure.
Inspired.
Sarah, what did you think of the movie? Because you also said you didn't hate it, but I also don't have your notes with me, so I don't know what you think of it.
I apologize for that. It was... Honestly, I had a little bit of a Twilight phase when I was like... When did the movie come out? 2008?
This one came out 2008. You were 6?
Well, I was turning 7. But, my aunt was really into it. So, like, I got into it, but not because of, like, the romance. Because, like, when I was a kid, I was, like, really into vampires. I still am. Like, yeah. I love vampires. So, my aunt took me to see. She had like a box collection of like all the movies, but then she took me to go see New Moon in the theater, and that kind of changed my life a little bit. Not gonna lie.
Oh my
No, I'm
god.
kidding.
It's
Yeah,
cool.
I am no stranger to Twilight, and I actually, it's the dialogue is choppy. The
Bad.
characterization sucks. I don't know
Very
why she
bad.
was holding that damn cactus at the beginning of the movie.
I
Like,
was gonna say, I'm like, why does she have a cactus?
No clue.
Her
No clue.
Arizona roots. I need to
I've been to
remember.
it
I don't
doesn't
even
look
think the
like that.
cactus made it to Washington with her.
No, she was holding it in the bedroom.
Was she? I wasn't paying
Yeah,
attention.
I don't know why she
I
had
also
it
like
on the
wasn't paying
plane.
attention when I was watching this movie for this episode, but like, because I watched it like 6 times, so I know what's happening.
Yeah,
I watched
it's
the
just
series a lot, guys.
Why?
we can tell.
It's this. It's.
We can tell, she says.
I
I know.
I watch it for the same reason that I watch It Chapter 2, because I kind of need a laugh. You know, I need to cheer
Not
myself
It
up.
Chapter 2.
It's like the room energy.
Yeah.
I think it'd be better if I watched it with like a group of people, because alone while like putting away laundry and watching Twilight is not fun. It's like, I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah. Twilight definitely is like a group activity, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's definitely not something that you should experience alone, because when you are alone with your thoughts and just Twilight, it's so stupid.
Alone with your thoughts.
But it is genuinely like a community activity. I'm not saying this to be like super cheesy or whatever, but like, it doesn't really make any sense. Friendship is magic. It doesn't really make any sense when you're watching it by yourself.
No.
Well, I was on the phone with my doctor when I was watching it this morning.
Awesome.
And I had
What
to
did
like.
your doctor have to say?
Oh, hello, Allie. Welcome back.
Hi, Allie.
He's back.
I fixed it. What do you think? Does your doctor like Twilight too?
My doctor,
was just
I had to
testing
like turn it down because like Edward was talking too much, and I was like,
And
he was
that's
making
also a
noises. He's like,
problem.
yeah.
Mhm.
I think we don't get enough of Jacob, actually.
I would
wanna hear
want
him
more
talk.
of him.
I like him.
I like him
I like-
too.
Okay.
I like him.
I'm Team Jacob.
I'm Team Jacob as
Okay.
well.
Me too.
Because, like, again, going back, he's the only one that, for me, has, like, any sort of actual connection to Bella. I don't know.
Mhm.
Edward and her are so stilted and so
Mm.
reeked in, like, weird power dynamics. I'm like, no, I don't care. But, like, her and Jacob, like, they have a history together. They're friends. Their dads are friends. It just seems nicer. Calmer.
They tried so hard to make Edward and Bella's relationship like so
like
different.
sexy and like
Yeah.
like out there, like ooh, mysterious and dark and everything. And it's like no,
No, that's not natural.
That's not that. This is weird. Her and
It is
Gerard
weird.
Way. Remember that.
Mhm.
Gerard Way would
Remember
never
that.
do that. That man is
No.
Gerard Way is so awkward and like loserish. And this is coming from someone who's actively wearing the MyChem shirt and has seen them in concert. I love MyChem.
Do we know what Gerard Way thinks about like Twilight? Like,
Oh,
has
that's
he
a good
ever
idea.
spoken about it?
Oh, I
I'm
don't
sure
know.
he's
Let me ask
said
him.
his 2 cents.
I'm sure
Or do you
he's
think
not a
he's
fan
just
of
like,
it.
I'm gonna stay out of this one? Yeah.
Maybe that's why Umbrella
it's probably
Academy
that one.
exists. It was a counter narrative.
Response.
He's all, I'm gonna
There's
tell
no
this from my
vampires in Umbrella
story.
Academy.
About the Umbrella Academy.
He's all, I'm gonna tell this from my
We don't need to
story.
talk about
The
that.
Umbrella Academy.
There's like
No.
no connections. But
Why not?
There's no connection.
Oh my
He
god, there
sparkles.
is he sparkles. The whole forest scene where he's running, I was literally about to
Hold
say,
on tight,
is
spider monkey.
so fucking
It's so
insane.
cringy.
She's like scary running as well. He's like Kubrick staring the entire time. And then he sparkles, and it's like, I don't know, maybe for me, it's because it like deviates from traditional like vampire ideals and everything. I like traditional vampire like lore or whatever, but he's not supposed to sparkle in the sun. No, he'll fucking die in the
He's
sun.
dead.
He's supposed to die in the sun.
He's
To
supposed
dust.
to burn up.
I think also for me, I guess the reason, like, another reason I don't like this is because vampires are so inherently queer. For me, like, Carmilla, I would even put Dracula up there. I've been watching.
Oh, you just finished watching Interview with the Vampire.
No, still watching it. Slow at
That's
watching
gay.
TV. Slow at watching TV. And they also only have season 1
Emily's
on
bad at
Netflix.
watching TV.
I am bad. But that movie, that show is so gay. Like, Jesus. And so they're so queer. So you're making these vampires that are so straight. And they're like, I love, you know, it's so mysterious because of that. I'm like, no, that is, you are going against who you are. Look deeper. Look within.
I think Alice does not give off straight vibes.
No, like, Alice is the gay one. No.
Yeah.
Alice is the only
Alice
good one.
Definitely a lesbian.
Alice is the only good one.
Alice is very nice.
Alice is definitely a lesbian. I'm not excusing. I also wish that they were gay. I think that the Twilight Saga would be so much better if everyone was gay.
Thruple.
I think it would make more sense. Thruple would be awesome. Unfortunately, Stephenie Meyer is a Mormon, and I'm pretty sure homosexuality is banned in Mormonism.
I think so too.
It is.
I think so. Yeah. Allie, you never explained your how is Twilight American, or was that it? Was it just My Chemical Romance?
The 9/11 connection.
Was that it?
My Chemical Romance. We get representation from states of like Arizona, Washington, and Oregon, which never get a spotlight because everything either takes place in New York or California, because those are the top 2 states. Also,
Stand By Me takes place in Oregon. Sorry, continue.
Sorry. I don't really like that one. I think I gave it like a 3 or 4 because I was like, this is a movie for the boys. It's not for me. It was not for me to like. Nobody made this movie hoping that I would like it.
Stand By Me?
That's fine. Stand By Me. No, but like it's one of those movies where it captures a very specific time in America, especially but like teenage high school experience in America.
Those friends are fucking weird. Like, those kids, I got a counter argument that, I mean, yes, it is indicative. Also, she's so frozen right now.
I will say, like, I don't think I definitely didn't have a normal high school experience because I went to an all-girls school. So, like, there's simply, like,
Oh, Sarah left.
Oh. Sarah's gone, Allie froze again.
Well, it's just you and me, May.
Chat here. Yeah, but I went to an all-girls school. Okay, she's back.
Oh, sorry. Every time I start talking about Twilight being American, my internet.
They don't like it.
It's trying to silence
if I spoke my truth.
It's trying to silence you.
I'm being silenced. I'm being silenced. But it's got the teenage American experience, but specifically in 2008, which 2008 feels very American. I don't know.
The economic crisis.
Yeah.
The housing crisis.
We're actively in a recession.
The recession is so America core.
It really is.
We got like recession pop from it. We got Lady Gaga. We got what else did we get from the recession? Obama.
We got Obama.
No,
he came up.
I was gonna say those friends at the high school are so fucking weird. They should not care that deeply about the new girl. They're immediately doing like a feature piece on her. They're like way too friendly. Like, I don't know about you. No one gave a fuck if you were new. You were just a person.
No,
they're like too intense. They're intense friends. And then I forgot Anna Kendrick's in this movie.
Yeah. I was gonna do the cup song.
Anna Kendrick forgot she's in this movie.
She forgets that she's in this movie.
Does she really?
Yeah.
I will say,
in
defense of the teenagers in this movie and of teen culture, I don't even think it's necessarily like teen culture. I think that's just kind of what it's like to live in the Pacific Northwest. because nothing ever happened here. And when something does happen, you kind of do have to like write a feature piece on it. You know? You do kind of have to like go to journalism.
No!
For that.
That's where we end.
Yes.
No, we don't have to go to journalism.
It's like a small town. They literally said they're like nothing ever happens here. Like you're the first person to move to this town in years.
Population 3,000.
That's still a shit ton of people. 3,000?
That's a
lot.
Small town in like.
That's small.
I've been to towns that are like 500 people.
Well, yeah, but that's in like Montana.
But like, still,
People don't live
3,000
in
people.
Montana.
I don't know the lives of 3,000 people. I don't care.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, they're a little crazy. It's just because they live in Washington.
This is what Washington does to you.
I do like the aesthetic. It's a nice aesthetic. I would like to live there.
Aesthetic fucks so bad. The blue filter fucks.
So blue.
But don't move here. Hey, this is a PSA to everyone. Don't move to the Pacific fucking Northwest unless you love it that it is gray and cloudy and cold 9 months out of the year. Please don't move here. I'm miserable. I hate it here. I want to kill myself every single day.
Oh no! Don't do that. Don't say that.
Don't move here just because you like Twilight. I know a lot of people have come here because they like Twilight and they take the Twilight tour. Don't move here.
There's a tour? What is the Twilight tour?
Yeah.
And why aren't we actively on it?
Well, it's not like a tour, it's just like a bunch of like, you can go to all of the shooting locations around like Washington and Oregon. And they have like markers. I want to go on the Twilight tour. Like that is my goal before I die.
I took that so intensely.
Yeah, thank you.
I was like, the shooting locations? And I was like, oh yeah, they shot there. Not someone was shot there.
You have a film minor.
No.
I'm tired.
You're a film minor.
I just want to say, at our college last year, we had film students on campus filming a movie, right? So they sent us the students an email. And you want to know what the tagline was for the email? Shooting on campus.
It was insane! That was the craziest thing. And all of us were like, what? And then they were like, filming on these days. And I'm like, there is another word for this. Shooting on campus?
Did I miss this?
It was like
I not there when this happened?
No, you were there.
I don't remember this.
I distinctly remember getting these emails and being like, what the fuck? Shooting
I don't remember this at all.
It was crazy.
It was crazy.
Fuck.
I do remember that. That was insane. And then we saw them. It was with but I do remember that email. It was literally like the headline of the email. Yes. Shooting on campus. You can say filming. You can say filming on campus. It's okay.
It was hilarious. What a time to be alive, guys. What a time to be alive.
Let's end the episode on the timeline that I wanted to go over with you guys. Because I think it's fucked up, and I think that you guys would get a kick out of it too. And then we'll end the episode. Okay. Because we're all sleepy babies.
So sweet.
Okay. So this is the entire timeline of the Twilight saga. So not just the first movie, but like all 4 books, all 5 movies, right? And I'm going to be using the dates that are in the books, because that's what I got off of Google. Okay. January 17th, 2005. This is the first Twilight book. Ella leaves Phoenix and she moves to Forks, Washington, right? Mm-hmm. January 2005. The next day, she and Edward meet at Forks High School. That's January 18th.
Wait, sorry.
January 25th.
I just thought of something. I'm so sorry. If Alice can see the future, couldn't she stop 9/11?
Well, this is after.
I don't think they were really...
It was after. Yeah, but Alice was alive.
About 9/11.
Sorry.
We had it right.
Wait, where are you getting these dates
Alice
from?
only see. I got these off of the Twilight wiki page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reliable source.
Anyways, reliable source, very reliable. I trust it. January 25th, Ella is saved by Edward in a near fatal car crash. Awesome. Insane.
Which I do want to bring up the point. I don't understand why she just doesn't leave right after school. She hangs out at her truck. I'm like, girl, that's your truck. Go home.
Oh, everyone just kind of hangs out in the parking lot.
Yeah, but she doesn't hang out with anyone else. Go home.
She's not
mysterious.
doing much.
She's so quirky.
She's not like other girls, you know?
Can I hold on?
Okay,
when I watched this movie, I screamed because the truck that Bella gets for her homecoming gift is my dad has that truck and he's had it for years, and I was very excited when I saw it. It's like the same. It's like an orange Chevy truck.
You are Bella.
You are Bella.
No thanks.
Your dad is Bella, actually.
Oh, who is Edward in this scenario?
No.
No, I'm obsessed with that truck. I do want that truck. That's like one of two of my dream trucks. I'd love it.
That's your dream truck?
I want Bella's truck from Twilight, and then I also want the Jeep Wrangler from the Lindsay Lohan Parent Trap. Those are my two dreams.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Jeep Wrangler from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, that one too.
Beat up and everything.
Dinosaur and everything. Okay, early March 2005, the baseball scene. And this is also when the Cullens meet the bad vampire group, right? Awesome.
We didn't even talk about the baseball scene. Best scene.
We didn't even talk about the baseball scene.
It's great.
Incredible scene.
It's an actual scene I enjoy.
It is genuinely the best scene in the movie. What's up, babe?
What kind of like industrial bats are the Cullens getting? Because like they're hitting the balls so hard that they have to play during like thunderstorms and stuff. I think that's so where are they getting these bats from?
I thought they were just, for the aesthetic.
Food for thought. The bats?
No, like, just to be playing during a thunderstorm, they're just doing it for the aesthetic. It's just typical metal bat.
No, they said
that's just because they're super loud.
Thunderstorms, yeah, because they're hitting so hard because they're so super strong because they're vampires.
Yeah.
That it's so loud it sounds like a thunder clap.
Yeah, thunder clap.
Yeah. I guess that's in the movie. There's no guessing.
They
said it.
I don't.
You can't really explain like the physics of the Twilight universe. It doesn't really make any fucking sense. But they have industrial strength bats because the Cullens are billionaires. Let's be real. They're billionaires.
This is true.
Anyways, yeah. Early March 2005, baseball scene, beautiful, stunning. March 16th, the Cullens face off against James in that ballet studio. That insane fight scene. Ella breaks her leg. Crazy. Don't really know why that happens. Whatever. September 13th, 2005, 2 days after 9/11.
Oh, oh no.
This is the start of this. This is still 2005.
Right.
September 2005, this is the beginning of the second book, New Moon. Ella turns 18 years old. She gets a paper cut at the Cullens' house, and she nearly gets killed by Jasper.
I remember this. I love this.
This is the brother who was like a Confederate soldier, right?
He's what?
Yeah.
He's a Confederate? Why?
Jasper
Why is that
necessary?
Soldier. That shouldn't be necessary.
No, he was a Confederate. He was a general.
What? Why?
I didn't know that part. I thought he was just...
He was a high-ranking soldier?
He was a high-ranking soldier.
Unnecessary.
He was turned into a vampire by a really hot Mexican vampire
What?
named Maria. I do remember this.
Is that shown in the movie?
Then, it is shown in the movie.
What the fuck?
It's shown in Eclipse, which is the third one. But yeah, Maria turns Jasper. I'm just gonna tell you the backstory. Maria turns Jasper into a vampire because she wants him to train her army of newborn vampires.
I want our army will rise one day. Confederate army, by the way. The Confederates. What the fuck?
Anyways.
Why is it...
So that's Jasper's
I don't know if
backstory.
that's necessary to be a Confederate.
That's
Anyways,
crazy. How did he get there?
Long story, I don't really know. So yeah, Jasper nearly kills Bella September 13th, 2005. 3 days later, on the 16th, the Cullens leave Forks because Edward is like, he's being guilty again, and he's like, we're vampires and we could kill you, and like, you're a human and you have blood and we want to kill you and it's not safe, whatever, right? They leave Forks. This is the start of Bella's 4-month depressive episode.
Oh, when she
Where
jumps
she
off
goes
the cliff?
through. I've seen that.
When it goes in circle. Awesome scene. Really great.
In
Doesn't
the
she jump
book,
off
it's
a
like
cliff?
4 empty pages.
Yeah.
Hmm?
She does jump off a cliff.
What?
But not like to actually. Well, okay. Let me explain. Let me go through the next couple of points, and then let me go through the next couple of points. January 17th, Bella starts hanging out with Jacob.
January
by
6th.
refurbishing. Yeah.
She is
they start refurbishing motorcycles. They start hanging out. They get closer. They become friends. Whatever.
Okay.
At around this time, Bella realizes that she can like see a like, it's like a vision or whatever of Edward whenever she's doing like stunts or whatever.
What?
Like high adrenaline activities.
Like,
so she's like at one point she's like riding the motorcycle or whatever, and then she sees like an apparition of Edward just being like, Bella, don't do this, it's dangerous or whatever.
like a force ghost?
Oh, no. Like a force ghost. So at some point she goes cliff diving because cliff diving is an activity that happens on the beach or whatever. So she goes cliff diving by herself when it's stormier than usual.
Yeah.
Because she wants to see Edward, right? Awesome.
Oh my god.
Anyways, that happened sometime in February of 2006. Jacob becomes a shape-shifting werewolf.
What? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
I knew that.
Yeah. He becomes a shape-shifting. This is when he cuts off his hair and he starts not wearing shirts.
Yes.
And then
I'm so sorry, Taylor Lautner. They took advantage of you.
He went through so much.
Advantage of him. Well, Taylor Lautner got ripped on purpose because the original plan was to recast Jacob, because they always knew that Jacob was gonna get like hot and buff in the next movie, and Taylor Lautner was genuinely 16 years old, but he was like, no, I want my job.
He Kit Connored himself. He Kit Connored. Fucking huge now.
He Kit Connored himself. So yeah, that's why. But Jacob was originally going to be recast with a new actor, but then Taylor Lautner was like, no, that's my role. Anyways, that's not the point.
Yeah, he was talking about this on his podcast with his wife Taylor Lautner.
Exactly.
They were.
9/11.
They both have the same name.
9/11 led to Taylor Lautner doing a backflip at the Eras tour. That's how that happened. Think about it. Think about. I'm thinking.
Bella does her cliff diving stunt in early March or whatever, and Alice sees a vision of Bella jumping off the cliff, but she doesn't see the part where Bella survives. Basically, so Alice thinks that Bella killed herself.
Oh,
she's dead.
My god!
And because Edward can read minds, he reads Alice's mind and is like, oh fuck, Bella's dead now. I have no more reason to live. So he goes
Romeo and Juliet.
Kit Connor.
He Kit Connored himself. Oh, and there's
Kit Connor. Everything goes back to Kit Connor. So Edward, because he thinks that Bella is dead, he goes to Italy because he intends on revealing himself as a vampire to this crowd.
Why
in a town that's like notoriously for like known for killing vampires.
Why is it?
So this is on March 19th.
Italia.
I don't know. So this is on March 19th. Edward tries to reveal his existence as a vampire because he thinks Bella is dead, but Bella intervenes because Alice went back to Forks to tell Bella that Edward thinks that she's dead, so they went to Italy together. Don't really know how they did this, whatever.
Fuck?
They go to Italy.
We're leaving.
They go to Italy. This is Yeah, this is also when they meet with the Volturi, which is like they're like a cult of
The
vampires, but they
council?
like
Oh.
yeah, they're like the council of vampires and they create like the laws and stuff for vampire. I don't really understand their point, but they're the big bad of the series, right? Okay, awesome. March 2006. This is like later March 2006. The Cullens return to Forks, and Bella decides to become a vampire. Awesome. June 13th, 2006. Edward proposes to Bella.
That's 1 year later.
Next
Yeah,
day is my
it's
mother's
it's
birthday. Happy
Wow.
birthday.
awesome. Okay,
Your mom's birthday's
so
the 17th?
Oh, did you not say the 13th? I thought you said.
I said the 13th, babe.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay. 14th
I said
is my
the
mom's birthday.
So-
Flag Day.
Yeah. Okay. So Edward proposes to Bella June 13th. Very soon after, the beginning of Eclipse, the third book, starts, and Bella and Edward graduate from high school.
They're still in high school while this shit is going on? How is anyone
still in high
graduating?
She's doing midterms
no.
and she's flying to Italy to save her vampire boyfriend. Booked and busy.
June 15th, 2006. I think my timeline is a little bit off here. Don't really care. But it's still like June or July 2006. The Cullens ally with the werewolf pack to
Allies.
face off against Victoria. Do you remember Victoria, the cunty redhead vampire that showed up? Yeah, the cunty little redhead vampire. She's cool. They face off against Victoria and her army of newborn vampires. Awesome.
What does
I do
that
wanna
mean,
point out-
newborn vampires?
A newborn vampire is basically just a vampire that was recently turned into a vampire within the last like 2 months.
I
see.
was fully thinking baby. Like, newborn baby vampire was about to
No,
kill.
like, but newborn vampires, they're just like people. They're people-sized whenever they turned into a vampire, and they're just like they're just like abnormally stronger than a normal vampire, you know? So that's why it's specifically an army of newborn vampires, because they're like hella strong, right? This is also when we learn about Jasper's backstory of being a Confederate soldier who trained an army of newborn vampires. Awesome. Also, I do want to point out, Victoria was recast in this movie with Bryce Dallas Howard. That's it.
What? Why is she here?
Oh, no. She
Jurassic
kind of
Park.
does like a really...
Once again.
Yeah, she does a worse job. Okay.
It's so hot.
August
Like,
13th, 2006, beginning of Breaking Dawn, Bella and Edward get married. And then sometime after this, in late August, they go on their honeymoon and they conceive a child.
And
this is their vampire child.
Explodes.
And they destroy the room because of the insane sex that they have.
You get Christina Perry's 1,000 Years at some point during this?
What?
No, that's at the end of Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Oh, I
That's
see.
during the credits scene. Anyways, September 11th, 2006.
What?
Renesmee Cullen is born. Bella is turned into a vampire, and Jacob imprints on Renesmee.
She becomes a vampire after giving birth?
Okay.
On 9/11?
Okay, so you know how, like, vampires are technically dead? They don't have blood, they don't need to eat. They also don't have sperm. Sperm, gone. Eggs, gone.
I don't know if that's how that works.
Because of the magic of, like, love or whatever, Bella gets pregnant with Edward's child. This shouldn't happen. However, the child is a weird, like, it's a weird, like, demon-human vampire hybrid. So, one, she gets 9 months pregnant within the span of, like, 2 weeks. Horrifying. 2, Renesmee, the baby, is, like...
Also, crazy name.
Eating Bella.
It is.
Crazy
Renesmee?
name.
Edward.
Renesmee.
Renee and
Bella and Edward.
Renesmee...
Typical names. Renesmee.
Right.
You can do Renee. You can
Awful.
do...
They named
Renee.
after their moms. Because I think
Yeah,
Edward's
well,
mom
then
is Esme. Yeah.
Renesmee
Yes.
is a mash of Bella's mom's name and Esme. It's
Oh
bad.
God.
It doesn't excuse
It's
it,
awful.
but it's
No.
like it's a mix between Renee and Esme. It's bad. Anyways, so the baby is a parasite baby. Awesome. Bella's actively dying. When she goes into labor, Bella's spine breaks in half,
Oh God. Yeah.
and then she can't like give birth naturally because like she's actively like dying and the baby's actively killing her. So they do have to do a C-section on her. Awesome.
Ooh.
Bella dies immediately after having the baby pulled from her, and then she turns into a vampire. Super cool. And then also, like, literally 10 minutes after Renesmee is born, Jacob imprints on Renesmee.
Oh, that's
which is super cool.
Right.
And for any listener who doesn't know what imprinting is, it's basically soulmatism. I don't know how to explain it any better, but it's like the animal brain in Jacob is like, this is my soulmate.
To a
And it's
baby.
a baby. You know?
To a baby.
To a baby. To a baby.
Demon
So,
baby.
and to a demon baby. And then Jacob, you know, Jacob is like, the whole reason that I had a crush on you, Bella, is because of Renesmee's egg in your body. And it's like, what the fuck?
What the fuck
insane.
is happening? Also,
Yeah.
I'm going back.
Anyways.
I'm going back to stuff. This happens on 9/11. Why? What is this on? Why?
The Gerard way.
Because Gerard Way
Gerard
Way.
is
Okay,
Stephanie's plan.
so Stephanie's playing. Anyway, so because also Renesmee is like a weird hybrid human vampire, she ages incredibly fast.
Oh.
So by December of 2006, remember she was born September 2006, by December she is physically 10 years old.
What? Why?
But what about mentally? Mentally, she's still
Mentally,
going to be
newborn.
No. Mentally, she's also 10 years old.
Why?
Also,
So was
she
she get
has
older
the
than her
magical...
parents?
I don't really know. Don't ask me questions about that. I don't know.
Sometimes we don't need world building. Sometimes we can just exist in the world we're in.
Also, Renesmee has the super cool magical vampire power of being able to show people her memories by touching their face.
What the fuck?
She's been alive for 3 months. What memories does she have?
Well,
I've
okay,
grown
this
exponentially.
This is important because in December, another vampire that the Cullens are friends with or whatever sees Renesmee and informs the Volturi of her existence because the other vampire, her name is Irina, she thinks that Renesmee is an immortal child, which is basically when you turn, like, anyone less than 5 years old into a vampire. Like a toddler into a vampire. And immortal childs are illegal because they have tantrums, and tantrums kill people. That's kind of it. So Irina tells the Volturi that Renesmee is an immortal child. The Volturi is like, okay, so we need to kill her now. But the Cullens are like, no, she's not. Bella gave birth to her, even though that's like physically impossible. So apparently the Cullens have friends around the world. I don't really know how they'd have
Me
this,
and the besties.
but they have friends. Them and the besties. So they gather a team and they use Renesmee's powers of showing her memories to the new teammates so that they can prove that Renesmee was born of...
Does she remember that?
What the fuck?
She remembers.
Yeah, how is she remembering?
remembers
She's
that.
a baby.
I don't know. Anyways, so on December 31st, 2006, the Cullens and their team go to war against the Volturi. Everything's fine. They survive. It's fine. Whatever. And then the book ends on January 1st, 2007.
Wow.
So the events of the entire series took
Pre-recession.
place over 2 years.
This is 2 years. I'd end it if this was over 2 years.
2
So
years.
much happened.
This is 2 years. Also, I want to tell you that Stephenie Meyer, after she wrote Twilight, she wrote a sequel called Forever Dawn. And this was the original sequel to Twilight, and it basically covered everything that happens in Breaking Dawn. So, like, the marriage, the pregnancy, the war, whatever, right? So it cuts out all of the other stuff that we talked about.
What?
But she didn't publish. What?
No, keep going. Never mind.
Okay.
I don't know. But, so, all of the events of, like, New Moon in Eclipse, if Forever Dawn was published, wouldn't have happened, because that stuff just isn't covered, right? But it wasn't published because it wasn't a young adult novel, because it talks about pregnancy and marriage, and I guess that doesn't have an appeal to a young adult audience, or whatever. But yeah.
Alright, well...
Crazy.
If that happened over 2 years, I'd not be okay.
She's graduating high
Insane.
school.
Yeah,
like,
she didn't beat teen
You're
pregnancy.
18.
No, she didn't.
Damn.
Yeah, because she's like only 19?
Bella should be at
18
the
when
club.
the club
But no, she has to
club.
fight.
Yeah.
And
Club
she almost
in the
die
club,
because of
we
her
all
evil
fall.
demon baby is trying to kill her.
Is this why they CGI'd the baby? Because she's like a demon baby? Or were they just like bad decisions were made? Okay.
Bad decisions were made. Bad decisions were made. Bad decisions were made. That's kind of the only answer. Bad decisions were made.
Of course. You know,
Yeah.
I understand.
Last thing before I go. So, Bella, Stephenie Meyer chose the name Bella for Bella Swan because she had been saving that name for her daughter, because she wanted to have a daughter named Isabella, or Bella for short.
Yeah.
Stephenie never had a daughter. She only has 3 boys.
Oh.
So she decided to name her main character Bella after the daughter that she never had.
Well,
That's sad.
that's sweet, I guess.
That's kind of sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Then,
And then she chose the name Edward because it sounded old.
well, and there you go.
Yeah, she's not wrong.
That is
Imagine
not
if
wrong.
it's
And that's
Albert.
how that is.
Walter.
And that has awesome George, Charles,
Johnny.
Walter. Frederick.
All.
Herbert.
Timothy.
Ring.
Ringo.
He's just even the Beatles now.
John. Paul.
Anyways,
Corduroy.
thank you.
Corduroy.
Can't go back. Corduroy, the bear.
Aw,
The bear.
I like
Bear?
the bear.
Don't bring him into this.
Corduroy.
Leave him out of this.
Cute. I'm sorry, I think I still have the book. It's under my bed.
I
I'm
have.
not
I
gonna grab
had
it out.
the book too.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for listening to this episode about Twilight. Please like and subscribe if you are on the YouTube. If you should definitely like and
The
subscribe if
YouTube.
you're on the YouTube. I don't know why.
Oh!
You can follow us on Instagram.
Thank you, Sarah.
Oh,
Little
Yeah.
effects.
exactly. Follow us on Instagram, Brats in the Back Row, TikTok, we are at Brats Pod. Listen to us on Spotify as well. And yeah, we will see you next Thursday for another episode. Hopefully that episode is a little bit more high energy than this one.
Sorry,
Also,
guys.
hopefully we actually like that movie.
I know you said you don't, so we'll switch. But yeah.
I don't like that movie. I've said that, but you know what? I'm here for you. I'm here.
Thanks. Here's your hint, everybody. On Wednesdays, we wear pink. Bye.
We're not watching Mean Girls. Bye, everyone.
That's a different
Bye.
reference.
Bye.